Join me for the latest reviews and news of the Disney Plus streaming series Star Wars The Mandalorian right here at mandominute.com. Welcome back, marketing chefs. I've got something truly special cooking for you on our storytelling stovetop today. It is Chapter 2, The Child, of the Disney Plus streaming series The Mandalorian, up next in the Marketing Kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen, the Marketing Kitchen. Hi, I'm Ron Vining, your host of the Mandalorian Kitchen TV. That's right, I'm here to tell you about the latest episode of Disney Plus streaming series Star Wars The Mandalorian, Chapter 2, which is The Child. Wow, what a revelation that we had in the pilot, seeing the Yoda baby, or Baby Yoda. This character is so adorable. And in this particular episode, we really get to see this character in action. So after the Mandalorian has liberated his bounty, which is the Yoda baby, and it's really cool, the Yoda baby's in this pod that just sort of levitates, and it follows the Mandalorian as he goes. He has a remote control to control it. And by the way, everyone's calling it the Yoda baby, Baby Yoda, but we don't know that it is Yoda. This could be and the reason why people are talking about it being a clone is, remember that the doctor from the first episode, he had the emblem from Camino on it where the clone troopers were made in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So people are wondering or speculating that it could be related to cloning. Or he could have been a reincarnation of Yoda spawned by the Force, or he could be Yoda's baby. I guess another option could be is that he's just someone of Yoda's species. However, he's someone of Yoda's species who, and I'll share in a second, what happened is, well, in a couple of minutes. By the way, speaking of minutes, you can check out these episodes by going directly just to mandominute.com. All right, there's that plug. Oh, and one more plug. I want to share with you that this is an AppFlicks review. And what is AppFlicks, you might ask? Well, AppFlicks is the streaming entertainment guide that I have created. It's a new website that is soft launched and will be giving you the opportunity to post your own reviews, talk in forums, read news, and even your own videos, all related to streaming entertainment. And it's not just films and TV series, it's also music and video games. So anyway, I encourage you to check that out at appflickstv.com or just appflicks.com. I'm really excited about it. I've been working on it for quite a while now, and I think we'll fully launch the program in 2020, and I just think it'll be another fun platform to be able to engage with entertainment, and that sounds fun to me. All right, back to Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian, which is The Child. So when the Mandalorian takes the child with him, he goes to his ship. However, he sees that his ship is being raided by a band of Jawas, and there's a Jawa sandcrawler there. And so how cool is that? As I mentioned to you in the first episode of these reviews here, that this planet is Tatooine-like. But I don't believe that it is Tatooine. And we see that the Jawas have completely ransacked his ship. They must have already ripped out 40% of it. Even the hull plating, you can see through it. So this ship is not going to fly anytime soon. So what does the Mandalorian do? And I started cracking up. This was so cool. He pulls out his phase cannon, phase rifle, the same one that Boba Fett had in the 1977 Star Wars Holiday Special. If you saw that animated short within that episode there, it's just a classic Star Wars weapon. And when we hear Darth Vader say to Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back, "No disintegrations," Well, we get to see some disintegrations here, because the Mandalorian takes out that rifle and he starts shooting away at Jawas, and they just vanish. So they're completely disintegrated. And it was just like, wow, I can't believe I just saw that. So the Mandalorian just goes to town on them. He runs, he shoots them, he runs down to get to his ship. The Jawas pack up as fast as they can. They get in their sandcrawler and they take off. And the Mandalorian takes off after them. He's shooting at the sandcrawler, but it's not having any impact. He runs up alongside the sandcrawler. He starts to climb up it. The Jawas are throwing all kinds of things off the top of the sandcrawler at him. They're coming out windows. They're throwing stuff at him. They're shooting at him. And he manages to get to the top, and he's ready to take them out, except they ganged up on him and they fire them with their rifles. And if you remember what happened to R2-D2 in Star Wars A New Hope, the Mandalorian's body electrifies in blue, and then and he falls off of the sandcrawler. And so there's a cool Easter egg, by the way, too, when he's climbing on the edge of the sandcrawler. The sandcrawler gets very close to a rock face, and this scene was shot just like Indiana Jones on the side of the tank from the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So anyway, it was just so blatant. It was so cool. Anyway, the Mandalorian is defeated. Later on that evening, he's sitting there. He's wounded. Like, the Jawas kicked his butt, and so he's trying to attend to his wounds while the Yoda baby, for lack of a better name at the moment, let's just call him the child. So while the child is in his bassinet, levitating bassinet, and not with any force or any powers anyway, it just levitates, just like how the Carbonite levitated in Empire Strikes Back but then Han Solo was in it. So as he's trying to fix his wounds, the little Yoda baby, the child, looks up at him, makes a couple of really cute sounds, and is just sort of can see that the Mandalorian is in pain. So we see the Mandalorian tending to his wound, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, the Yoda baby is right next to him, and the Yoda baby is reaching out 3 little cute fingers, and he wants to touch the Mandalorian's wound. And what's interesting is that I forgot now whether or not the music had changed to the Force theme, but you can tell that the Yoda baby wants to tend to his wounds. And this interaction repeats itself twice. And twice the Mandalorian just picks him up, puts him back in his bassinet. But we see that the Yoda baby really wants to heal him. He wants to do something for him. Anyway, that's the vibe that I got. Well, that next morning, the Mandalorian goes to the farm that Nick Nolte's character, who is the Ugnaught, lives at, who he helped him out in the first episode to find where the child was being held at. And the Mandalorian explains that he was defeated by the Jawas because they were in a fortress, and so referring to the Sandcrawler. And so the Ugnaught character, again I forgot his name, but he's fantastic, the I Have Spoken individual, he says that he'll help him negotiate with the Jawas to get his stuff back, but he'll have to give them something. And he's like, why? It's my ship. But all right, anyway, so he brings them to there, and the Mando is not playing any games. So Nick Nolte, by the way, says the Jawas don't like him because he killed their friends, obviously. When the Jawas were laughing at him, the fire shoots out of his arm, just like Boba Fett, and it was quite cool to see that happen. And the Mando just was dead set on revenge. Anyway, Nick Nolte negotiates, but they want something, so he won't give up his armor, he won't give up the child. So what happens? The Jawas want him to go collect something from him. So he has to go into this cave and he has to get the egg of this creature. And the egg is good, it's a good size egg. And the creature is reminiscent of the arena on Geonosis in the Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The one with the horn, the one that was attacking Anakin in the arena that the Geonosians had when they were going to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Padme Amidala. So there we have it. Very similar creature, but this one had more fur on it. So it's similar, but not the same, but at least a nod to that. And so the Mandalorian is in the fight for his life. He was unprepared to take on this beast. I mean, he's basically fighting a dinosaur. So he has the egg. So let's see what happens here. I haven't seen the Mandalorian's getting his butt kicked again, and just as the Mandalorian is about, he's on his last leg, and just one more charge from this beast, and Mando is dead. But he's not going to give up without utilizing that last breath. So he pulls out his blade, which is a vibro blade. And he's ready. He doesn't have any other weapons. There's no other way to take this beast out. Just has the vibro blade. But the beast has really knocked him out. And so he's down. He's down for the count on the ground. And the beast is charging. This will be it. And just as the beast is about to get to him, we see the child raise out of his little crib, put up the 3 fingers, just like Master Yoda did in Empire Strikes Back when he raised Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, or just like when he raised the pillar when he was in the fight with Count Dooku, or when he threw one of the Senate seats at Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith. We see those 3 fingers there, and all of a sudden we see the beast stop, float, and can't move. And then the Yoda baby sort of tosses it. The Mandalorian jumps up, he stabs it, and the Yoda baby passes out, because that was a lot of effort to use the Force to pick up the beast and do that action. So really a pivotal moment, because we see that this baby has the Force. So again, is it a clone? Is it a reincarnation? Is it a respawn from the Force? What is it? Is this Yoda's child? Big mystery. Now remember, I said in the first episode that this child is 50 years old. This toddler is 50 years old. And if we go back in the chronology of the Star Wars universe, or the canon, that would put this child being born prior to the Darth Plagueis, Darth Palpatine, or Darth Sidious, as well as Jedi Master Sifo Dyas ordering the clone army. So this is in that same time frame. So this is pre the Phantom Menace. This would be when, so in other words, the Yoda baby would have been approximately the same age as Darth Vader. And so, interesting. So if it is a clone, this clone would have been created when? It would have been created before the events of the Phantom Menace. So that's an interesting point to keep in mind. Okay, the Mandalorian goes back to his Ugnaught buddy, portrayed by Nick Nolte, and so where the Jawas are there, he gives them the egg. The Jawas actually just rip the egg open and they eat it. It's just like a Cadbury egg filled with the golden yolk that's there. And the Jawas are excited to have this egg. They give the Mandalorian back all of his parts for his ship. And then Nick Nolte's character, the Ugnaught, who, remember, they were repair workers on Cloud City after all, he helps him put back together the Mandalorian ship. And of course, the Mandalorian, we see he whines about it a little bit, and Nick Nolte says, well, you know, we can either whine about it or we can work on it. I have spoken. And so anyway, just so cool. One thing that I forgot to mention in my synopsis, if you will, of the first chapter, which was the pilot, was that when the Mandalorian got a down payment for going after this bounty, he took that down payment to a female Mandalorian. Actually, it's just this area where a number of Mandalorians were hanging out underground, and she melted the steel, the Beskar steel there, and then she made a pauldron for him. So because his uniform's a mess, so she made a new pauldron for him. And I had shared with you all in an episode that I had filmed at the launch of Disney Plus, where I had first talked about the pilot. And so anyway, I'll put the link up here. That I think that there's going to be some gamification going on, and the Mandalorian's going to level up his armor or his skills throughout the series. So anyway, we'll see what happens in Chapter 3. Anyhow, the Mandalorian ship is put back together. He's ready to go. He offers the Ugnaught the opportunity to join his crew, and the Ugnaught says that he's just recently been relieved from being a slave or an indentured servant, and he says he doesn't want to answer to anybody anymore, but he appreciated the offer and he had spoken. So cool. So we see the episode ends where the Mandalorian flies off with the Yoda baby back to the planet to retrieve his bounty for the child. So that is my recap of Chapter 2, The Child, and I will be in the next episode reviewing Chapter 3, which is called The Sin. And so that'll be in our next synopsis review of The Mandalorian, Disney Plus streaming series. All right, we will always have some fresh content simmering in our storytelling stovetop. We always got some good stuff happening here in our Omni-Channel oven. So I invite you to tell your family and friends about our channel, because whatever happens in the Marketing Kitchen shouldn't stay in the Marketing Kitchen. I'm Ron Vining, your host of, in this case, the Mandalorian Kitchen TV. I look forward to seeing you here in our next episode.